It's the greatest marketing hook in cinema history. For words that transform a simple popcorn flick into a sleepless night, based on true events. But when it comes to the Conjuring universe, the truth is a tangled web of genuine terror, questionable evidence, and the enigmatic legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed, a self-taught demonologist, and Lorraine, a clairvoyant medium, claimed to have investigated over 10,000 cases. Hollywood has painted them as the ultimate shield against the dark. But today, we aren't looking at the movie magic. We're looking at the cold, hard files. We're looking at what the Perron family really felt, the audio recordings that shouldn't exist, and the dark mystery of why these spirits chose to stay. In January 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron moved their 5 daughters into a 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. They wanted a peaceful life. What they got was a decade-long psychological war. In the film, the horror is explosive. In reality, it was a slow rot. The girls began to see a tall woman in a gray dress, her head tilted at a sickening angle. They called her Bathsheba. But here is the mystery James 1 didn't tell you: the real Bathsheba Sherman wasn't a confirmed witch. She was a neighbor from the 1800s who local legends claimed sacrificed a baby. The real Carolyn Perron didn't just get possessed one night, she suffered for years. And when the Warrens finally arrived to perform a séance, things took a turn for the worse. Roger Perron later claimed the séance went so wrong, it opened a door that couldn't be closed. He actually kicked the Warrens out at gunpoint, believing they had brought more darkness into his home than they found there. If the movies are about salvation, the real story is about a family that was left to rot for 10 years before they could afford to leave. Now, we travel to 284, Green Street, North London. 1977, the Enfield Poltergeist is arguably the most documented haunting in history. Why? Because the police saw it. Society saw it. The movies introduced the Nun, a terrifying demonic entity. But the real horror was much more grounded, and perhaps more chilling. Imagine a voice, deep and gravelly, coming from the throat of an 11-year-old girl named Janet. The voice claimed to be Bill Wilkins, a man who had died in that very house years prior.
Down dodge in the chair, in the corner downstairs.
Critics say the girls were faking it, using ventriloquism and jumping off beds to simulate levitation. But how do you explain the Lego bricks that flew across the room and hit a police officer? Or the fireplace mantle that was ripped out of the wall by invisible hands? The mystery here isn't just, is it a ghost? It's, why this family? The Hodgsons were poor, struggling, and broken. Skeptics say they wanted attention. Believers say that's exactly the kind of environment a poltergeist feeds on. 1981, Brookfield, Connecticut. This is the case from The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. But the movie turns it into a detective thriller. The reality was a tragedy that ended in a courtroom. Arne Cheyenne Johnson stabbed his landlord over 20 times during a heated argument. His defense? He wasn't there. A demon was. This was the first time in history that demonic possession was used as a legal defense in the United States. The Warrens claimed that months earlier, they had assisted in the exorcism of an 11-year-old boy named David Glatzel, Arnie's girlfriend's brother. They claimed they saw the demon leave the boy and enter Arne. But here is the part that haunts the legal files. David's older brother, Carl, later sued the Warrens, claiming they manipulated his family for fame and money. He claimed David was simply suffering from a mental illness that the Warrens labeled as demonic to sell books. The mystery isn't just about the murder, it's about the ethics of the Warrens themselves. So, where does that leave us? Are the Warrens the heroes James 1 created? Or were they clever storytellers who knew that people are more afraid of the truth than fiction? The Perron family still swears by their story. Janet Hodgson still carries the trauma of Enfield. And the Annabelle doll. She sits in a locked glass case, even now. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the weight of these stories is real. They have shaped our modern mythology of evil. Maybe the scariest part of The Conjuring isn't the jump scares. It's the realization that even if only 1% of these files are true, we are never truly alone in the dark.